This is your Barbados Today evening news update for Wednesday, January 9. So glad you can join us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. At least 46 workers from the Barbados Agricultural Management Company are set to go on the breadline as part of government's cost-cutting and restructuring program. The revelation came this afternoon from General Manager of the state-owned BAMC, Leslie Paris, following almost 2 hours of negotiations with the Barbados Workers Union at the company's Warren's headquarters. Among those being sent home are drivers, mechanics, and support staff.
We're talking approximately 42 to 46 persons are in that range.
And these in which categories of workers?
These cover a number of areas and touch all of the areas of the company's operations in terms of the members of the Barbados Workers Union.
And these are field workers, office workers, what?
Let me stress that field workers, those workers who actually are out in the field working daily with the crops, will not be retrenched.
Commenting on the outcome of today's meeting, BWU Deputy General Secretary Dwayne Paul said that both parties were able to find common ground on a number of outstanding issues regarding the retrenchments.
Based on the positions put by the management and the acceptance by the union, we should be able to move ahead with the restructuring of the company, and those further details will be provided by the management as soon as they are ready. But the union at this stage is reasonably satisfied with the discussions and the proposals put by the company, and therefore the plans will be going ahead as soon as the appropriate ministries can conclude what they have to do based on the discussions today.
Successful and satisfying. That's how officials of the Transport Authority and representatives from the newly formed Public Service Vehicle Drivers Association are describing a 4-hour-long meeting held earlier today. The talks came a day after operators withdrew their services as a means of securing a hearing with transport officials on issues affecting them.
Well, we looked at various issues, and the discussions were very cordial, and we quite comprehensive, and they were not only complaints or issues, but we got some valuable information from the members of the association and some suggestions regarding our routes, or rationalization of routes, and the operation of the Constitution River Terminal in particular. But we also looked at the operations of the other terminals and what plans that we have for in the integration process.
That was Chairman of the Transport Authority, Ian Estwick. Meantime, spokesman for the operators, Fabian Wharton, says he's happy with today's discussions and looks forward to future talks.
We are quite satisfied with the discussions we have. We are basically almost, I would say, near to an agreement as it relates to the uniform issue, but there's just some details that needs to be worked out. There's a general consensus between the two, and I guess the owners would have to have their conversations with you as well as it relates to that.
Exactly.
But as it stands now, we are happy with the discussions. We are happy with the way forward. There is a move to have additional conversations as it relates to some of the plans going forward as it relates to issues that we are facing with the 5-minute rule and lane assignments in the river terminal. So that is going to be further discussion in the coming days, and there's a commitment from both sides to resolve those issues that can be resolved and that are affecting the operators that don't infringe upon the rights of the owners.
Barbados recorded its first murder for 2019 around 9:55 last night. The victim is 24-year-old Shaquille Toppin of Danesbury Road, St. Michael, who was shot and killed in the same area near Retreat Road in Black Rock. When police responded to the scene, Toppin had already been transported to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, where he died. Police investigations are continuing into his unnatural death, and lawmen are appealing to anyone who can assist with their investigations to call the nearest police station. A 40-year-old Canadian woman who arrived in the country with her 2 children last Monday was remanded to HMP Dodds today after she admitted that she imported 10 pounds of marijuana into the country. She is Tiffany Janelle Mark of Toronto, who also pleaded guilty to possession with intent to traffic, and supply of the illegal drug. The drugs, which have a $40,000 estimated street value, were found in false compartments of her luggage on arrival at the Grantley Adams International Airport with her 6- and 9-year-old children. Mark will know her fate when she reappears before Magistrate Laurianne Smith-Bovell in the District B Magistrates Court on Wednesday, January 16.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
On the regional scene, illegal firearms are still proving a challenge for law enforcement officers in the Bahamas. Police Commissioner Anthony Ferguson says there are still many illegal guns, despite removing thousands off the street last year.
We seized 285 illegal firearms and 6,254 rounds of ammunition from our streets. We know that this does not represent half of the illegal firearms that are in this country and are in the wrong hands. And we'll just look at the numbers of armed robberies, the ones that we use with guns. If you count those, then it simply means that even in there, the amount of guns recovered.
Those figures speak to 206 pistols, 33 revolvers, 16 rifles, 28 shotguns, and 2 imitation weapons.
We have also prevented persons from reaching the Bahamas with the whole shipments of firearms. So a lot of things we do in partnering internationally, locally, and we will continue to do those things.
And finally, President Donald Trump reportedly walked out of a meeting with Democratic leaders on Wednesday as negotiations broke down 19 days into a U.S. government shutdown. The president reportedly said the talks were a waste of time after Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer stuck by their refusal to fund his planned U.S.-Mexico border wall. And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.